Finally, Valve have just dropped the price of the Steam Machine. Now, for those that might not be aware, when Valve first announced the Steam Machine and the new controller and the VR headset, and I think the new prices of the Steam Deck, if I'm not mistaken, we were all debating how much is this new piece of hardware gonna be? How much is it gonna be? Now, I said that it needed to be at least between like £700 and maximum £800. It can't be any more than that. And I didn't think that it would make any sense to be less than £700 because of the current climate that we are currently in, especially with console gaming and this generation, where hardware, consoles and games are going up in price when they're meant to be dropping down in price. And this is the first time in any console generation that I can remember anyway, where it has been increasing instead of decreasing. So when I was looking at how much I thought that the Steam Machine could be, it was okay, like let's be realistic, you know what I'm saying? So it's probably gonna be like, for the specs it had, or that it was saying that it had 700 maximum to 800. And I thought that was fair to be competitive when you're going into the market and the ecosystem of PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo. It just made sense to me. And I think like I was hearing a lot of the same type of figures being thrown around, by other, YouTubers, content creators, and, people that were interested in the Steam Machine. But now they have dropped the price of the Steam Machine. So let's go through these prices and see what are going on. So there are a few different versions, which is wild to me, and you'll understand as I go through this. So the Steam Machine, 512 gigabytes without a controller, which is wild to me. In America, we are looking at $1,049. In the UK, we are looking at 879 Great British pounds. And in the EU, we are looking at 1,039 euros, which is wild. And with a controller, we are looking at $1,128. And in the UK, we are looking at £938. And in Europe, we are looking at 1,108 euros, which is wild to me. Now, there's more, but I'm going to pause right there with the prices. The fact that Valve are separating or like splitting up the console and the controller is wild to me. It is crazy to me. Now, for someone like me who is a console gamer, and I have always been a console gamer, I have recently, I would say in the last 5-6 months, dipped my toe, or maybe my right foot should I say, into the PC gaming ecosystem with this beautiful Steam Deck, 1 terabyte OLED Steam Deck, beautiful piece of hardware. And I have now got a wonderful and beautiful appreciation of Valve's ecosystem with the service. To me, this is the gateway into gaming PC for me. I've always been a console gamer, and getting my hands on the Steam Deck for a beautiful price was the beautiful experience for someone like myself that's only ever played games on consoles. So the Steam Machine, being familiar with the ecosystem, was like a perfect amalgamation, a perfect machine for a console gamer like me to step over into the realm of potentially PC gaming, because PC gaming is mad expensive. It's not cheap. To go and buy, and build your own rig, your gaming PC, you need a bit of bread, you know what I'm saying? And the gateway for that is quite high in comparison to console gaming. But once you set up your whole ecosystem, your hardware, your gaming PC, the games and stuff like that is super cheap in comparison to console gaming. And obviously for these crazy prices here, we all know why this is happening. And if you don't, I'll tell you now, it's literally because of the AI. It's all the data centers, all the SSD hard drives, it's the RAM, the processors. It's just inflated the prices of all these hardware across the board. So much so, yeah, that really and truly something like this should really only be maximum £700 to £800 over here in the UK, period, and probably all around the world, give or take, depending on the currency. So the fact that they have to price it at £1,000 upwards practically is wild to me, you know what I'm saying? Because Obviously over here in the UK is literally under £1,000, but I think when you've crossed the £800 mark over here in the UK, like I think you are in the territory of like failure, in my personal opinion, because it has to come with the controller. You can't be saying, oh, this is how much it is without the controller and this is how much it is with the controller. I just think, like I said, I think to get the best experience in regards to Valve and the Steam machine, the controller should be included and they should be separating the prices. Now, I do understand why they have done this to a certain degree, because it is basically a PC and you can use your PlayStation, your Xbox controller, your Stadia controller, any Bluetooth controller you can use to connect to your PC and play games on it. So I do get in a way why Valve would do this, but at the same time, if you're promoting it as this is a console first and the PC second, it needs to come with the controller. You can't be selling it separate. It's wild to me. So I think Valve is kind of like fucked up when it comes to them separating the prices. And also another thing I would say is that I don't understand why they are releasing a version that is 512 gig. That is wild to me. That is crazy, especially the fact that like a console first but PC second, but like with, you know, Steam and the games and how big they are and stuff like that, like come on. But at the same time, because it's technically PC, you can increase the storage space, so maybe that's what they're thinking about. I don't know, but it's wild to me. But these were the first two things that like pops into my head when I saw the prices and the breakdown. It was like, one, why are you selling it without the controller when you're trying to get into console space? Doesn't make sense, and you're promoting it as a gaming console. And second, why is there a 512 gig version? It should come with a terabyte standard. Anyway, back onto the prices, should I say. So the Steam machine has a 2 terabyte version without a controller for $1,349, and in the UK it is £1,149, and in Europe it's €1,349. And with a controller we are looking at $1,428, and in the UK 1,208 Great British pounds, and in Europe we are looking at €1,428, which is wild to me. So if you're going to release a 2 terabyte version, then just release a 1 terabyte version and a 2 terabyte version. Why are you releasing a 512 gig version? Then you're jumping straight to a 2 terabyte version.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
That is wild to me. Like, I don't get it from a marketing standpoint to the common consumer or to a console gamer that you want to encourage to get into PC gaming.
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
And I've said this before, like the gaming gods only know how much PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo, if Nintendo gets there, are gonna charge for their next console when it comes to the next generation, because it's looking real dark and real bleak. Because last time I checked, like I just told you, console gaming was meant to be for the everyday going person, and if these corporations and these companies thinks it's okay to charge £1,000 for a console,
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
when there's crazy conflict going on in the world, crazy inflation, you got certain countries that are dealing with recession, and there's talks about, like, you know, a future recession coming along if certain things don't change. So why do they think it's okay to charge these prices? See, like, this is the argument that I have here with these companies. For Valve, and to a certain degree with PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo, it's not really entirely their fault for like the reasons why they are increasing their prices. Even though I don't agree them trying to offload the price and the cost to us gamers and us consumers, that's wrong, you know what I'm saying? They need to figure it out themselves. But the fact they're trying to offload it to us, like, I understand to a certain degree why they're doing it, you know what I'm saying? But my argument has always been, yeah, especially like these days, yeah, like this year and last year, you know what I mean, that if all this is going on and you know that this is going on, then why as a company are you trying to release hardware during this turbulent climate, this turbulent situation where the everyday going person won't be able to afford to go and buy your consoles, go buy your hardware? Like, it's wild to me. I don't understand what these people are thinking.
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
If Valve knew that they couldn't, like, you know, release this Steam machine like between £700 to £800, I don't think they should have released it at all. They should have just didn't announce it, because when they announced it, we will still knee deep into the AI data centers, like sucking up all the RAM and processors and hard drives and so forth and so on. Like, they all knew this. And even though that they might have, you know, had a backlog, like, it doesn't take a genius to understand that, like, if you want this to be for the everyday going person and gamer, and you want to get into the console gaming and you want to get this piece of hardware into everybody's home, pricing it at these prices in America and in the UK and in Europe is not the one.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
These are the prices that we're gonna see next generation. Probably even gonna be worse than this. And we've got like PlayStation and Microsoft working on their next console, knowing that it's gonna be at least £1,000.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
And they just think that we're just meant to be able to afford it. So I don't really like these prices. I mean, I don't agree with it. I mean, I've heard arguments say, oh, you know, like the Steam machine is twice the price as the PlayStation 5. Yeah, when it first came out, but comparison to now, it isn't that much expensive if we're looking at the base version, the 512 gig version. It's pretty much the same price as the PlayStation 5 Pro. So like, I have heard and seen some disingenuous arguments right now, but yeah, like I'm not really feeling these prices. I think these prices are ridiculous personally. I don't entirely blame Valve for these prices, but at the same time, I do think that like they should have a bit more common sense and, you know, just think to themselves like, well, like I said, if we want this in everybody's houses or as many homes as possible, releasing at these prices don't make sense. And releasing a piece of hardware that Valve has said it is a console first and a PC second without a controller is wild to me. So I don't know, man. You know what I mean? I don't know who's going to be able to afford this when we're talking about the everyday consumer, the everyday gamer. You know, like I said, like around the world, like there's mad inflation, everything's just going up, and like I said, there's mad things going on around the world that's causing cost of living to go up even more than what it was previously to, you know, certain conflicts and stuff. So I just think that like this isn't smart pricing. This is this is them not really thinking about it, and I don't think this is a good way to get into console gaming when like you can't, like, you know, price your hardware at a respectable price. And if you can't do it at a respectable price, then you shouldn't do it at all. Yeah, so I'm not really feeling these prices. I think it's wild to me. Maybe you can make an argument that is partly greed. You know, I don't think it's really greed. I mean, because like Valve is very customer first. That's something I will say, even though I might not agree with the price of this hardware, but I do understand it. But like I said, the smartest decision would have been not to release it and just like fall back and just wait for like the climate to stabilize and see what the market is saying, and seeing if like consumers are actually willing to spend this type of money on a hobby like gaming. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you think about these prices for the Steam machine. Do you think that it's a fair price? Do you think it's like not fair? Do you agree with my thoughts and opinions in regards to what Valve is doing and why they decided to price it like this and so forth and so on? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. But all I know, yeah, is that like it's sad, isn't it? Because like for someone like me who's just been a console gamer for all my life, finally getting into PC space, like handheld PC space, which is a beautiful space, by the way. And I bought this when it was like cheap, before the prices went up for the Steam Deck, you know. I just think it's sad because like Valve has got like a really good opportunity to get a lot of gamers from consoles over to console/PC gaming. The fact that there is no like the fact they don't charge you to play online. You know what I'm saying? The fact that the games are just so cheap, and the fact that it's so open as well, like you can just pretty much do what you want on it and play what you want on it. It's perfect, you know what I'm saying? It is so perfect, you know what I'm saying? So I just think to myself, the opportunity's never been greater and bigger for Valve. But I just think releasing the Steam machine right now at these prices is a bad move in my personal opinion. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like to me, it just makes sense if they just wait until this generation and the global climate stabilizes across the board, and you see what consumers are doing and what they will and will not tolerate or spend, shall I say. And the only thing I can say as a gamer like you is just to vote with your wallet. You know what I'm saying? If you want it but it's too much, then obviously you won't be able to afford it. But even if you can afford it, should you really like get this? You know what I'm saying? Is it really worth it to you? Like, unless you're a content creator or you're making money off it in some shape or form, I just don't think it's worth buying. You know what I'm saying? And I will say the same thing when the next generation comes and PlayStation, Xbox thinks it's okay to bring out a console at £1,000.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
The last time that like PlayStation bought out a console for like, I think it was like £800 was the PS3 days, and that went downhill very quickly.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
But we was living in a different time, different climate, and they bought different versions and the price drop. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's dark times for gaming. It's dark times for gaming, me personally speaking, especially console gaming in particular. And yeah, it's sad because I'm a very big fan of Valve and, you know, Steam OS and yeah, and the Steam Deck. I love the Steam Deck. So I don't know. Anyway, let me know thoughts, opinions or feelings in the comment section down below. Let me know wagwan. And yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you like this video or any of my content. You can also hit me up on the social, Twitter, Instagram and Twitch, Jay's Gamepad across the board. You ain't got to tap, press anything else but that. And also, if you want to hit me up on PlayStation, my gamer name is MrGhostProtocol, or Steam as well, because my name is actually Jay's Gamepad on Steam. I need to change that for PlayStation, I really do. But anyway, I will see you soon.